Hello, Marissa.
Hello.
Long time no see.
Yeah, for real. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. All right, everybody, this is Marissa Mazziotti. Mazziotti?
Sure.
Use it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Marissa, will you tell us a little bit about what you were doing before this and how long you've been with FFL?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been with FFL, I think, 8 or 9 weeks now. I think this is week 8. Excuse me. Before this, I was working in transportation and logistics for organ procurement organizations. So anytime someone gets an organ transplant, we do all the transportation here, California, Texas, kind of everywhere. I had been there for 3.5 years at that point, and then kind of came on here in my first week, I think was middle of July. I think the second week of July was my first week with FFL.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you find FFL?
Through your Instagram post.
That's right.
So I had a coworker that I used to work with. He had sent me a post that you had posted about, I made, $10,000 in 2 days or something like that. And I was like, no way. I was like, this is total BS. Like, she's just lying to people. So I kind of blew it off for a little bit. And he had said, I know Ashley from a previous job. I think you had known him or known his family. And he was like, whatever she's doing, I don't know what she's doing, but you should reach out and see because you might be good at it. So I blew it off, kind of thought it was fake. And then probably after a week of the post, I was, at my job, and my job was great. I, was making good money, had full benefits, things like that. I actually loved it. Was really comfortable. And I just kind of realized, like, what am I doing? And so I reached out to your post, said, can you give me more information? And then we got connected.
Yeah, and I remember when we first started talking, you were making $80,000 a year, full benefits, and you said you basically were doing nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. So I like I said, it was very comfortable, very complacent, show up when I want to show up, kind of make the schedule. I would be like my shift, I'd be like at the gym. So that's a dream job. A lot of people dream of having that.
Yeah.
I was also at that point, had finished a bachelor's degree and studying for a master's, and I just didn't see what the next step was. What's the next growth? I can come in every day and work zero hard and make money, or I can come in every day and work 150% hard and I make the same paycheck. So, it didn't have, what's the next thing? What am I learning? What am I growing towards?
Yeah, you were bored.
Yeah, I was bored, basically.
That's awesome. So when you came to FFL, your first week, what was your first week? What did you submit?
My first week, I think
It wasn't like what you wanted.
No, I think, it was like 3,700.
Okay.
So my first week, I was so uncomfortable on the phones, especially. I'm still pretty uncomfortable on the phones, but I was like, no way that I could do this. I think I sat 5 appointments. My first 3 were just like pretty brutal. And so I almost went back.
I was gonna say you almost quit, right?
Yeah, I almost quit. I called Ashley and I was like, I cannot dial the phones. I don't want to dial the phones. Everyone's hanging up on me. And even from my old job, I'm used to being on the phones, but I would be on the phones like calling the shots, not like asking other people, if I can come to their house. And so I was so uncomfortable. I was like, no way I can do this. And Ashley was just like, keep your head up, like keep chugging. And, she's giving me extra resources. So that was good. She's like, here's these leads, dial them. Here's these leads, I already dialed through these, dial them again. Send me your dial tracker so I can track your progress. So if it wasn't for you hyping me up and being like, keep your head down and keep going, I might not have, I don't know.
That's all you.
So,
but okay, so your first week you did 3,700, and then now you're doing back-to-back 10K weeks.
Yeah. So second week of September, I think first week of September, I hit just under 10K, like 9 something. I was like, who am I writing a policy on? I think Joe Smith. I was like, Joe, let's write policies on each other. No, but we didn't do it. So then I hit 10K, and then I hit 10K last week in Kansas City.
Awesome.
Well.
Awesome. Yeah. Good job. And what leads are you running?
So I'm just starting to transition a little bit over to mortgage. So I have a couple of those, but I'm mostly Happy Agent, Game Time.
Awesome.
And the CRM. I like the CRM. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I want to run through your in-home. Can we do a little in-home with you today?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have your financial inventory, or do you need it?
No, I have it.
Okay.
Do you want to do the whole setup, or?
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with sharing. This setup is perfect.
Okay. Like I'm walking in the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should even show them like your body language of what you do when you're writing things down, and eye contact and all that, because that has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah. So I actually watched a video. I can't remember who was on our call a couple calls ago, and he said that he doesn't take anything out of, besides a lead card, he doesn't take anything out when he sits at the table.
Yeah.
So I just recently started doing that, and it's been, working. So if I have a lead card, I'm just like this, like, if it's game time, I'm like, here, Ashley. So this is basically the request that I get you know, that you sent in. Can you tell me just like a little bit about what you were thinking, what you were focused on when you filled out that request?
Yeah, I just basically wanted to make sure that my cremation was taken care of, and if I could leave a little extra, that'd be nice.
Okay, perfect. That's what most of my clients fill that out for. So you did mention cremation. You know, sounds like you've thought about it, that you want to be cremated over burial.
Yeah, I think so. That's, yeah, it's
Okay.
probably the least expensive, right?
Yeah, it is the less, you know. Have you looked at any costs, researched any costs of that at all?
No, I just saw it on Facebook and figured I might as well
Okay.
try and figure it out.
Okay, great, Ashley. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. I am just a medical underwriter and also an independent broker. So what that means is medical underwriter, I don't get to make any decisions. I just collect, you know, your health information. Me coming out here to your house takes away you having to go to a doctor to get this kind of coverage. You know, it takes that whole step out. So it's a little bit more simplified. So I just collect the information, don't get to make any decisions on behalf of any insurance companies. That being said, it is my job, and I do my best to make you look as good as I can on paper. Okay.
Okay.
And then the second thing, independent broker, means I'm actually licensed with just about every carrier in the state. Okay. So as opposed to being a captive agent that has one or two products, I have, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 different options that I can look at.
Okay.
If you're already insured with a company, anything like that, I most likely have access to that company, so I can make sure you're in the best place of something that's affordable, something's comfortable, and something that, you know, meets your family's needs and that you can qualify for, most importantly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, and then I usually pull out this credibility sheet, and I'm like, Ashley, have you heard of any of these companies at all?
John Hancock, I've heard of them.
Okay. Yeah. So all of these, I always say like, oh, John Hancock, they advertise themselves really well. Same with Mutual of Omaha. Usually like make a joke. And then I'm like, okay, great. So all of these are A-rated carriers. What that means is just like in school, they all get a grade. They've all been around for over 100 years. They're not going anywhere. The other thing about these carriers actually is they are only concerned about your family and your life insurance. Okay. So, you know, AAA, other companies like that, they're all great, but they're concerned with your life insurance, your car insurance, your home insurance. They pick you up on the side of the road when you have a flat tire. These are just concerned about your family. Okay. So that's why I prefer to work with companies like this.
Love that.
So Ashley, what we're going to do today is I'm just going to ask you a couple minutes of health questions, a couple minutes of finance questions. You and I will go over some different programs. And then once we decide on one that works for you and your family, we'll go ahead and fill out a full application and submit a request for coverage. Okay.
Perfect. And I like how, really quick, I like how Marissa says full application, because she's letting them know what they're going to do today, what she's going to do today. So then when she goes to get all that information, they already understand that she's going to be doing that.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I used to not do, and when I would get to the end of the in-home, I would struggle getting the check, or I would struggle getting, you know, the social. So just right up front, I'm like, okay, and when we fill out that application today, it usually takes, you know, anywhere from 2 days to a week to decide if you're approved or not. What they do during that time, after we submit today, is they will check your social security number with your prescriptions to make sure you are who you say you are, make sure your medical records are correct. The second thing that they'll do is they'll call me for an agent statement, even though they don't do that. I always want to make it seem like I'm working really hard for them. So I'm like, they call me for an agent statement, just ask me how the meeting went, if I saw anything weird. And I always tell them, you know, everything was good. And then the third thing that they're going to do is they're going to validate some bank information. That's just to make sure there's no prior fraud. We're not trying to use my account on your policy, something like that. People always laugh and say like, oh, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Then I'm putting myself as a beneficiary.
I like that
and
word.
then they laugh. So
I like that you say validate too.
Yeah, they're just going to validate some bank information. We're not taking any money today. I do that up front now because I used to not do it and I would struggle getting the check at the end.
At the end.
Yeah. Then I fill out the financial inventory. Do you want to go through that whole thing or just?
Whatever you want, if you feel like there's anything specific. So talk about how you, right in the beginning, I know when you go in, you ask them about why it is that they filled it out. Do you get beneficiary right then and there? Do you start talking about that right away?
Yeah, so depending on what it says on the lead card, like typically it'll say, like if it's a game time lead, it'll say beneficiary child. So I'll be like, oh, okay, so you put your beneficiary here would be your child, you know, tell me a little bit about your family. They'll be like, oh, my son lives with me. I'm okay, what's your son's name? Because then you can use their name.
Throughout the
oh, their son's
presentation.
name is Jordan. Yeah. Okay, well, you know, does Jordan live here with you? I always try to ask a lot of questions about that, so that when it comes to when I asked, do you already have life insurance? If it's yes or no, then I can say, well, you know, what's your backup plan for Jordan or whoever your son is.
Perfect. I love that. So you like to bring up beneficiary, and right away when you get in the home, you're finding out why it is that you're there.
Yeah.
Because you could go through all these things, and a lot of times you can become really skilled at asking for the banking information and the social, but if you might be able to gather all that information and make the sale, but if they don't know why they're getting it, or we're not reminding them or asking the questions for them to figure out in their mind why they're getting it, they may end up canceling. So I feel like bringing out the need in the home is huge, because a lot of us maybe have sales experience or feel like we're good with people, and so it's easy to sometimes get that information because you're good with your words. But to get policies to stick, I think that it's important to bring that pain out.
Yeah. And if it's a husband and wife or something, I'll always ask, like, okay, so, Ashley, if John wasn't here tomorrow, what would that look like for you? Would that be a struggle? Would you be covered? How would you feel about, financially, you're grieving your husband, planning his funeral, just tell me a little bit about that. And usually people get pretty quiet and uncomfortable. And then they're like, yeah, actually it would be a struggle now that you bring it up. And they realize kind of in that moment.
Yeah. And that's one of those moments where you get quiet too and they talk, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I love that. So I don't think you have to go through the financial inventory form unless you want to. I think that was pretty good.
Okay.
Do you want, I know you have a strong phone script. Do you want to go over your phone script, or do you think we want to go over your mortgage phone script?
Okay? Sure. Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
because we have a final expense one. We got the instant, and then you can go over the mortgage stuff.
Okay. I don't think I have it, but let's do it.
Do you want me to grab one? Here.
No, that's all right.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Ring.
Hello?
Ashley?
Yes.
Hey, Ashley, this is Marissa. Just giving you a call back about that mortgage protection response card that you filled out and sent into my office. Do you remember doing that?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, great. Looks like you put on here yourself and then your husband, Roy. Did you fill this out or did Roy fill that out?
I filled it out.
Okay, you filled it out. Awesome. And Ashley, I have your birthday here is 9/21/1996 and Roy's birthday is 9/21/1985. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have the same birthday.
Yeah, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. That's interesting. Okay, Ashley, so the reason I'm calling is because I am the medical underwriter assigned to get you that information that you requested. Okay, the information that you requested is for mortgage protection. These are the programs that if something happens to you or your husband, Roy, in the event of death or sickness, that your family would have some money to pay off the mortgage. Is that kind of what you were looking for?
Yeah, we were hoping to pay it off if either of us died.
Okay, perfect. And Ashley, I have you at 123 Success Lane. Is that correct as well?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Ashley, the great thing about these programs is they're all non-medical. There's no blood, there's no urine, no physical doctor's exam, nothing like that. They do just have me come by, drop off the information, verify your identity to make sure no one's trying to take out any insurance in your name. You're not hospitalized or bedridden, anything like that. Does that sound pretty fair?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, awesome. And
So but you have to come over to my house, or can you just mail us the information?
Yeah, I would love to mail that information, Ashley, because it would make my job a lot easier. Unfortunately, I do have to lay eyes on you, again, for insurance fraud purposes, as well as to make sure, you are who you say you are, you're not on oxygen, anything like that. And Ashley, are you still working or are you retired?
I'm still working. Roy is retired.
Roy's retired, okay. And what time do you typically get in the door from work?
Typically around 7.
Around 7, and Roy's just home at 7 as well?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Ashley, the reason I'm asking that is because the next 2 days I am dispatched out in your area. Just takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to be seeing a lot of families, just going to drop by the information, verify, you are who you say you are. If the information helps you, great. If not, no worries. I've done my job. Okay.
Okay.
Ashley, is there any reason you wouldn't be home tomorrow around, looks like I have, hold on one second. Let me just check here. Looks like I have a 6:30, or I could swing by right at 7 p.m. Which one of those works better for you?
I could do 7.
7 p.m.
Works, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Ashley, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you a confirmation code. Do you have a pen?
Yeah, I can. I've got a pen right here.
Okay, perfect. It's going to be M as in Marissa. It's my first name. 13.
Okay.
Just M13, and that's just so you can verify my identity. When I get there, I'll go ahead and pull out my state license when I arrive. And Ashley, is it a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
It's a house. Okay.
Yep.
No gate codes, guard dogs, anything like that.
Nope.
Okay, awesome. And Ashley, I'm going to be driving a black Honda when I get there, just so you know it's me.
Okay. Can I give you a call in case we're not home?
Yeah, you can, Ashley, but I really need to find a time that you are home and that you and Roy are both going to be there, just because I'm only dispatched out in that area for 2 days. So do you have anything tomorrow, that any reason that you think you wouldn't be home at that time?
No, I should be home.
Okay, perfect. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7.
Okay, sounds good. Good job.
Winged it.
That was awesome. Thank you, Marissa, for getting on. Well, you guys, that wraps up the FFL America Weekly Call.
Goals. You gotta hear the goals.
What's up?
You gotta hear the goals.
Oh, yes, Marissa's goals. Marissa, what is your goal and what is your team's goal for October?
Oh, yeah. So I just got one writer last week. She's in the field. Shout out to Kelly Dyball. So she had her first week last week. So right now it's just her and I. Just had 2 more people pass the test, and we'll be writing hopefully in October. So that's exciting.
And one of them's in here, right?
He was just here. Yeah, he just passed this morning,
Oh, yeah.
and I called him and was like, "Come to the office."
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So they'll be bringing a couple people on. But so my personal goal is to do 50K. I would say 50K, 10K a week because it's a 5-week. And my goal for this month of September was 40K, and I think I'm just a little bit short. So I need to absolutely hit this goal. And then, sales manager or even senior sales manager, if Kelly and we can bring on a couple more writers can get it, that would be my goal for sure.
That's awesome. I think you can do it.
Now I have to because I said it on the call. So.